Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round six of the IFL Formula 2 Championship from Long Beach. The moment has come after a 2 week break. We are back with some action from the West Coast. The American round starts now, and as we talk, we are underway on free practice. There are about 10 minutes left. I'm Stats Kokorogens and I'm here with Rob Slider. We're gonna bring you all the action from the highly anticipated race from Long Beach. It's gonna be an endurance race in the streets of California. 65 laps, 65 difficult and amazing laps await us. Rob, good evening. How do you feel about this race of the IFL F2 Championship?
Yeah, how you doing, Stathis? Welcome back up in the broadcast booth. I am itching for some racing. We had the 1 week off, and now we're back here for the long American stint. And we start off at Long Beach. Now, Long Beach is a street track, a little bit different than some of the circuits we've been at, and it's completely walled off, which is going to bring a whole new challenge to these drivers this week. We could see some track blockages because it is hard to turn around when there's walls on both sides. And that last turn, very difficult to get around. If you don't enter it correctly, you're going to be either getting into the wall or having to back up. So we'll be seeing a lot of action on the racetrack in different spots, and it'll definitely be a challenge for these drivers today.
The drivers had 2 weeks to prepare for this very difficult race. It's like the American version of Monaco. This track is very bumpy. The walls are always watching and as we speak. I see two drivers spinning at the exit of turn 5. I think it is. It's a very difficult track. And with these cars, the drivers have to be extra cautious today if they want to score any points. Rob.
Yeah, they're going super fast around here. The walls come up and bite you real fast. Being an F3 driver, like you said, they've had 2 weeks to prepare. Our F3 races tomorrow. I've done some preparing in here, and I tell you what, I don't know what it's like in these F2 cars, but I know they're a lot faster than the F3. And getting around this track in the F3 car kind of scares me. So trying to do it with this 8 other, 9 other, 10 other drivers on the racetrack right around you with these super fast, super hard to control race cars. It'll be really interesting to see. Alexander Shanna, we're taking a look at him right now. He's currently P5 on the practice board, and there he goes spinning around. So we've seen a lot of cars losing traction coming out of corners. And it could be something that makes a big factor in the race. Just one little mistake could put you into the wall and down quite a few spots.
Yeah, the drivers need to make sure to make all the mistakes in practice and not in the race. We have to remind you that we have, after the practice ends, there is a 25-minute qualifying session. After qualifying, we have 5 minutes of warm-up, and then, as we see two drivers having contact. I think that was Chris Byrom exiting the pits, not the most ideal pit exit, and then the 65-lap race. I think that track position isn't everything, isn't the winning ticket for this race. The most important thing is to stay away from the walls and have a good strategy for this race. It's gonna be an endurance race. 65 laps is almost what the Indy cars are doing in real life.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably one of our longer races we've had. You can see they're doing about 1:10. Lewis Archer actually just jumps to the top of the board with a 1:09 2.27. So just over a minute here, 65 laps. That's going to be over an hour in these cars. That's not if we get a safety car or two. which is definitely a possibility with this track being so tight in a few places. So it's going to be really a battle of endurance, a battle of attrition, and the main key tonight is going to be keeping your car clean, staying off the wall, staying off other drivers, and staying off those curbs that can really offset your car and really mess it up.
Totally agree with you, Rob. We are how much time? Rob.
It looks
Spinning
like
everywhere.
It looks like we got about 4 minutes actually left in free practice till we go to our 25-minute qualifying session. So while we're doing that, let's get you caught up on the point standings. We've had that week off, but after 5 rounds, here's what it looks like in the constructors' points. The Cuda Works F2 team sitting way out front of Turning Point Racing there in second. 50, I believe that's a 54 point gap down to Turning Point, so they've got a little bit of work to do.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
And then, yep, Cuda Evo F2 is currently in third in the standings with the Cuda Racing School F2 team of Steve Grabowski and Matt Turner down there in fourth with Orion Racing currently in fifth place of the board. And then as we jump over to our driver's standings, Lewis Archer, 3-time winner now after 5 rounds. He's won 2 in a row, looking to make it a hat trick tonight here in Long Beach. He currently edges out Chris Byram and Don Day. Ivan Baukamp having a great run last week in Austria, currently running in 4th place with Steve Grabowski holding on to 5th in the driver's standings. So points, still a lot of points left on the board, still a lot of points to grab up. But yeah, we're on to our American tour. I believe we've got 6 rounds here in the Americas, and that's going to be a lot of points right there. I believe that's 150 points for the winners, and many more for down the standings. So anything can change in the next couple races.
I have to tell you, someone went across the fountain at turn 3. Someone went across the fountain. So we have tonight Long Beach, the 6th round of the championship. Next week we go to Road Atlanta. On September 18th we go to Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. Then 1 week later we visit the famous Watkins Glen. After that, on the first weekend of October, we go to the Circuit of the Americas, and the American round of races ends up with Interlagos, the round 11 of the championship, on October 9th.
Yeah, great stacked schedule for the IFL. Ooh, as Luis Colon gets into the wall there, that's all it takes to give you a little bit of damage and mess up that car. So 65 laps. It's I mean, realistically, it looks like we've got 13 drivers currently entered in the race. 13 drivers that'll go to qualifying. How many drivers do you think that are going to make it out of this race without spinning out or touching the wall?
I believe 10. I'm gonna say 10.
You think we're going to have that clean of a race?
Yes.
Well, that ought to. We will see how it goes. We've already seen, Lewis Archer. I think Ivan Baukamp is the only person I haven't actually seen spin out yet in this free practice session. So But Archer and Baucamp up there at the front. They're going to be putting on a real show, very, very close, within 0.4 of a second of each other. And as we switch over, that's the end of free practice. And we are now on to qualifying. 25 minutes. Time to set the order for the starting grid.
I would also like to welcome our viewers. We already have the first comments in the chat. I see Gurmotis. Howdy, how there? She says, we also have Jax, who's cheering for Orion. Spiros, hello guys, hello Sans, hello Spiros. And Theo, who says, let's go. So yeah, feel free to submit your comment.
Yeah,
Um,
so definitely have a few people watching in our stream. Thank you for tuning
yeah.
in. Make sure you check out our F3 stream tomorrow at the same time, 3:45 Eastern. Sorry, I'm not super worldly knowledgeable, so I don't know exactly what time zones y'all are in out there for that, but it's 3:45 Eastern Standard Time that these races go live. And almost everybody's out on the racetrack. I think I see 4 people currently in the pits.
It is going to be very interesting. And after the qualifying, Rob, I would like to ask you to go a bit to mute the mics so we can get organized for the race, the final bits and pieces. So yes, let's enjoy this qualifying session. Who's the first on track? Who will be the first who will set the lap? I think. Is it Eric Meadows or Lewis Cullen?
I believe he just went off, so it's gonna be Anton Knudsen, I believe.
Anton Knudsen, okay.
Oh no, let's take that back. Alexander Shanna's just out in front of him.
Very important qualifying session. The first quick lap is usually a way to get some heat into the tires, so the drivers prefer to really attack the circuit on their second and third run before returning to the pits and switch and put some fuel in, because they don't want the tire to lose temperature.
Well, as he comes out to get his first lap started. Let's take a ride on board with Alexander Shanna. Very hard braking zone here into turn 1, but you want to carry as much speed as you can. You just got to watch out for that wall there to the right hand side. And then that roundabout for turn 3 will really get you. You can end up locking the brakes up there pretty hard.
Ooh, someone lost two drivers. Lost.
Shanna gets into the wall there on his lap there.
It's very easy track to hit the wall. And it's also a very pleasant track to drive. Go to the back section. Heavy braking at the 300-meter board. Down to third gear. And the long left hander before the last turn. Oh, I think he missed the apex. Yes, he missed the apex. But he's gonna complete the lap. Which puts him in third place, 111.5, 110.5 from Steve Grabowski, who is first, Dundee second, Eli Cannon jumps into fourth, and we're waiting for Lewis Cullen beat the second place. Chris Byram and Lewis Archer are up next.
Yeah, we're taking a look here at Chris Byram. He is currently sitting second in the points. right behind Lewis Archer. So looking, he hasn't had the greatest of starting positions this year. Oh, and he loses it. There it is. Keeps it off the wall though, but looks like Lewis Archer loses out on it on the last turn. He was coming around for his first fast lap, but
James Muller goes up to the top with 19.9. I'm trying to.
Lewis Archer here trying to make it 3 in a row this weekend here at Long Beach. He took the win in the F3 last year when they were out here at Long Beach and really put a hurting on these guys then. He's going to try to attempt to do it again, but this F2 series, very competitive towards the front. He's got some competition in this car, so he's going to have to really drive hard, and like we said earlier, 65 laps. It's going to be a long race, so you definitely want to get that track position to start, but then you just want to keep it clean, so that way you don't get stuck behind someone sideways in the middle of the racetrack. But as Lewis Archer gets ready to come through the last section of corners, he's going to make his first flying lap, and Lewis Archer's going to spin out. So we are having some crazy stuff happen here in qualifying. There
He hasn't set the lap time.
There's your current pole sitter, James Miller, with a 109.943. Oh, and he gets into the curbs and into the wall. What we're seeing here in qualifying is definitely going to be more than 3 cars spinning out in the race. If this is any indication.
Archer exited the pits and he compromised Chris Byram's quali lap. Byram is on the flying lap as we speak right now. He's in the back straight as we speak. Let's see what he's about to do. And I can confirm you, Rob, that we do not have the same. We do not see the same pictures. We are. My screen is not synced with yours, but I'm sure we're gonna figure it out later.
Yeah, the minor technical difficulties, we can work on that when the warm-up session comes. But currently, Chris Byram coming down. He takes 3rd place with a 111.244, and then he gets into the wall on his 2nd lap. So, giving it all he's got, James Miller still sitting up on top. And where's Ivan Baukamp? Ivan Baukamp's all the way at the bottom. He hasn't gotten the time in yet, but he's just started his 2nd flying lap. So we'll see if Ivan can pull something out. He's been up top quite a few races this season.
He had such a good run in Austria, the Red Bull Ring. Now he has some traffic in front of him. There's a Renault car.
I believe that's Eric Beddoes there in front of him.
That
Beddoes is going to concede and allow him by.
Many experienced drivers do have issues with this car and this track, and I have to say I'm quite surprised to see James Moller up there and by some margin for the time being.
All right, can Baukamp pull it off? He comes out of the last turn. Long curved front straightaway. As he comes across the line, P3 for Ivan Baukamp.
Still late stands to fight, but I think that the Renault car, the other Renault car, was in his way and he beat him just a bit. So where is Archer? Was on I believe is on a flying lap. Yes. Oh, there's a good Dakar just behind the Archer. I think that was Grabowski. That was Grabowski.
Looks like Luis Colon just moves up to 4th place with a 1:11.101. Lewis Archer coming through the last sector of the racetrack. He's looking fast.
Oh.
He misses the apex of the last corner, but he is the only person who hasn't put a time down yet. What is Lewis going to do? I think he's going to be about 3rd place. And there it is,
Yes.
3rd place, 1:10.406 for Lewis Archer. Going to start his 2nd flying lap, but he's got to pick up about a 1.5 seconds to get to James Miller, and he just gets into the wall. He's definitely got some damage. Comes to a stop. Very, very rough for him. Looks like Don Day's getting ready to complete another flying lap. Can Don get himself a little further up the board? Currently in P8. And he does. He moves up to 5th with a 1:11.077.
Excellent. Excellent lap from Day. And only one driver in one
and
nice.
There's the last turn. Anton Knutson coming around, doesn't make the corner, gets into the wall and has to back up.
And Alexander Shana, I see him that he hit the wall at the exit of turn 6. He's P9 right now. Anton Knutson jumps into 10. Now, who else is on a flying lap right now? Is Bocam on? Ooh, Buddy Bob.
Baukamp to the top of the charts. 1:08.937 for Ivan Baukamp. There's the speed we're used to seeing out of him. Don Day getting ready to complete a flying lap. He's currently in 5th position.
As is Luis Colon behind him. Steven Grabowski is also in the last corner. Can Grabowski grab the pole? Nope. He cannot improve. He can go near Moller and Bocam. Nearly. And as Anton Knutson, the Swedish driver, jumps Boggs and Shana for 9th place.
Well,
overall.
there's halfway through qualifying as we see Steve Grabowski spin out. So yeah, we're now halfway through qualifying. They've all got their safety laps in. Now we're really going to start seeing these guys push. Lewis Archer coming back out of the pits right now.
Yes,
he
Byron
currently in 4th place. And Byron, his teammate, in 8th. So
Byron was spun at the exit of turn 1. Not that it's not Byron's finest day. Many mistakes. We saw him in practice, as we saw Archer having mistakes in practice. Byron needs to get his head together. He has 12 minutes. 12 minutes to start a competitive lap and be as close to the top as possible. As the races pass, it gets more and more difficult for this.
all right, here comes
as
Grabowski down the line. Can he pick it up? No. Very slow lap, a 1:24.518. Maybe he was just heating the tires up for this lap.
Bo comes on an out lap. Archer is about to start his flying lap. He goes way, way, way out on the final turn to get some speed. No. What is he doing? What gets some speed.
So yep, Lewis Archer getting ready to start his out lap. It looks like one of the Lumos guys lets him go. He gets really close to that wall. Really, really close to that wall. But I think he kept it off it. Looks like Ivan Baukamp is right there behind him.
Baukamp has got him. Yes, yes. Lewis lets Baukamp pass.
Steve Grabowski comes across the line. He can't pick up his time. Half a second slower than his fastest lap.
Can Baukamp improve his lap time? Can he do it? Last corner. There he is. Baukamp comes across the line and no, he cannot do it by some half a tenth.
It looks like James Molaire, currently sitting in second, is on a flying lap trying to take that lead back away. Buddy Boggs moves up to 6th place with a 1:10.895.
Very good lap from Boggs. Very, very good lap.
Oh! And it sounds like Molaire just blew up, maybe?
Grabowski goes on pole. Goes on provisional pole. Steve Grabowski with 1:9.82. Great lap from Grabowski. Great lap.
And that's one thing we've seen from Steve time and time again. He jumps up on the top of that board. But then we've got guys like Ivan Baukamp. He's coming around to complete another lap. Oh, and he gets loose and gets into the wall. He's not going to be able to do it. He's got probably one more chance at getting some laps down. Maybe 2 more chances left for these guys if they do it right. But trying to get these tires warmed up in these qualifying sessions, you really got to pick and choose your spot where you come out. That way you know you got some clean air and you won't get messed up by anybody and you can actually really set a decent lap.
With less than 10 minutes to go, we have Steve Grabowski in first place as Baukamp goes again in the wall. I have to say I'm surprised that Chris Byron is still in P9 and Alexander Shana is 11th. That's the 2 drivers that are out of sync in terms of their position right now. Lewis Archer on a flying lap, pushing very, very hard on the back straight. More than 240 kilometers per hour.
And that's the one thing about Long Beach. It's a street track. It's not a nicely paved circuit. This is the streets of Long Beach. So it adds an extra wave of problems. And it allows like different drivers to kind of show their skills or brighten up. Like you see Byram and Shauna down there. Lewis Archer moves up to 2nd place right there as we talk about it. But look up in 5th place. There's Eli Cannon. Look at Buddy Boggs in 6th place. I think that's going to be Buddy Boggs' best qualifying effort yet in the IFL in this F2 division. So we've got drivers that we don't normally see up front really shining here. And that might add just a little bit extra to the race today. And Byram actually goes down to 10th place as Anton Knutson overtakes him with a 1:11.227.
Grabowski improved again in 1:09.6.
Wow.
Very, very blistering laps. Very blistering laps from the Kuda drivers. And yeah, it's very close between everyone.
Lewis trying to take that pole. Here he comes to the last lap. He hits the apex on that one. He is ready. Can Lewis Archer take it away from Steve Grabowski? No. 109.864. He needs 2 more tenths.
Less than 6 minutes. Less than 6 minutes. Who's on the flank?
Ivan Baukamp here on his flying lap, coming through the start of the back half of the section. Very quick, very nice turn for Baukamp. Can he knock Steve down? He only needs to pick up 0.3 to do it. No, 1:10.209. Definitely not going to do it there.
Drivers on their last laps that improved is Knudsen, Byram, and Cullen. These guys are 8, 9, and 10 right now. There's Cullen. Starts another flying lap. Oh,
Alexander Shanna moves up to 6th. Lewis Archer moves to the pole with a 1:09.417. The reigning champion, Lewis Archer, says, "No way, Steve! I am taking the pole," and takes it back. Steve Grabowski.
Answer. Oh
no! 1:09.578. 2.4 tenths off the pace.
Now
what a lap for Steve.
These guys have one more lap. Oh, Ivan Bockham goes P2. 1:09.4. Okay, this is getting serious. This is getting serious.
4 more minutes.
Also very exciting.
4 more minutes left in qualifying. The time is now. Your top leaders: Lewis Archer, Ivan Baukamp, Steve Grabowski, James Miller, and Eli Cannon. Your top 5, and Ivan Baukamp pulls off. I think that's going to be it for Ivan Baukamp. He is staying where he's at. Alexander Shanna puts down a faster lap. He's still in 5th place.
Oh boy, what an amazing battle for the pole position.
Chris Byram down in 11th. He's got maybe 2 more laps to get it done. Can he get himself into the top 10? Byram moves up to 7th. 1:10.851 for Byram.
A bit of a redemption for him as Shanna goes, improves again. P5 for Shanna. Decent effort. Very decent effort.
Ooh, Luis Colon almost gets on them curbs and almost loses it. He's on a flying lap trying to pick it up and get past his teammate, Don Day. Turning point drivers right now 9 and 10 on the grid. And Cologne can't do it.
I wonder though. I think I was being the wall. I wonder though what's with Moller. We saw him doing a great lap early on the session, but after that he hasn't improved his time. Let's see. Final moments of the qualifying.
2 minutes left. That gives these guys about 2 laps to go. Chris Byram might get 2. Chris Byram moves up to 5th place with a 1:10.443.
Great lap from Byram. Building confidence.
Steve Grabowski coming out of the last turn. Can he pick up his time on his first flying lap? No.
Not for the time being.
No, it looks like that lap, he must have gotten off track or something, because that was discredited. But Luis Colon jumps up a Don Day to 9th place with a 1:10.924. Lewis Archer coming around. Is he going to pick up his time? No. Very, very conservative lap. Ivan Baukamp coming around to make another lap.
I think everyone starts their last flying lap now.
1:09.752. Yeah, we've got 30 seconds left in qualifying. Eli Cannon's going to come across the stripe. Not going to be able to do anything there. And here comes James Miller. He's got wing damage, so I don't think he's going to have much on that car. He's going to pull it off. Steve Grabowski about to come across the line. He's going to get one more lap if he wants one more lap. And Steve Grabowski goes to P2. 109.417. The matching lap time is Lewis Archer. Lewis Archer's second lap time just a little bit faster than Steve Grabowski, so he currently holds the pole. But both Steve Grabowski and Lewis Archer have a lap time in qualifying of 109.417. That is absolutely incredible to see. And now it's only Steve Grabowski and Buddy Boggs left on the track. And you see Buddy Boggs there in front of Steve. Spins out. Steve keeps on the pedal. Oh, and Steve gets into the wall. That's going to be the end of qualifying right there. Lewis Archer is going to edge out Steve Grabowski just by a little bit.
Wow, what a qualifying session. 3 drivers in the same 10th. 109.4. 3 drivers. What a qualifying session. What a qualifying session.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a 5-minute warm-up session that is going to take place. Let these drivers figure out their last little bits and pieces, last little setup changes, all that kind of stuff. Feel free to go ahead and grab some popcorn, grab something to drink, whatever you got to do. But we will be back very shortly with Lights Out from the Long Beach Grand Prix.
We're back again with you guys. We are 2 minutes away from the start of round 6, the Long Beach Grand Prix for the Formula 2 Championship of IFL. We witnessed a very dramatic and amazing qualifying session with three drivers in the same tent. Three started taking pole position from Steve Grabowski, and Ivan Bokham will start from P3. James Moller starts fourth ahead of Chris Byram, Alexander Shanna, Eli Cannon, Buddy Boggs, Lewis Cullen, Don Day, Anton Nuts, and Eric Beddoes, and Steve Bunting. That's your grid for today's race. Rob, up to you.
And a great race we're going to have. Let's remind everybody before the race starts here of our points championship we've got going on. This is our constructor standings. You've seen Lewis Archer take the pole. He is with that Kuda Works F2 team and showing why they are up front currently at the moment. And our driver standings are really going to heat up after today. We've got a bunch of drivers all over the place. Chris Byram is starting way down further in the pack, so there's going to be some points up for grabs. He's really going to have to do some racing to get back up towards the front. Really gonna heat up the points championship as we start this American leg, 6 rounds here in America that we're going to be doing. So
we have to remind our viewers that there is no formation lap. The drivers will start immediately after their starting positions is settled.
Well, warm-up is coming to a close.
We're getting ready for more action here on the IFL Formula 2 Championship. Oh, who's gonna win today, Rob? Who's gonna
my
win?
money is going to be on the man himself, Lewis Archer. He absolutely loves these racetracks, and I think that'll be the ticket that he needs to be able to take this one home. But he's definitely got some competition behind him as we are gridding up, getting ready to start the race. Lewis Archer on the pole, Steve Grabowski starting in second place.
Drivers are getting ready. Up to you, Rob.
Oh, and there's the lights. And we're racing. Lights are out.
Great start from Grabowski, and on the brake for turn 1. Very cautious from Archer, and
Baukamp gets in there past Byram.
Excellent start from James Moller. Goes up into
Oh,
P2.
we got Byram backwards. Byram is backwards. That's going to be a safety car right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh!
4 or 5 cars around in that bus stop. So there's our first safety car. I believe that all started when Chris Byram or Alexander Shanna crashed. We'll have to take a look.
Let's see what happened from the helicam. Oh, I don't think... Is it going to be...
It's not going to be a very good spot to see it. Go back here. It looks like Chris Byram might have got some help from Shanna. And it sent him around, and then everybody tried to get around and just got into it. So, yeah. We'll see from Chris Byram's point of view.
Very unfortunate start to the race as the safety car goes into the track. Very predictable.
Yeah, Alexander Shanna gets into the back of Byram. He tries to go backwards to get out of the way, but the carnage ensues behind him.
Turning point car and Orion car. Has anyone pitted? I don't see. Byram has front wing damage. Many drivers have front wing damage. I think that pit entry is closed right now. It will open at the end of lap 2. And yeah, who would
Oh,
have
there
thought
they
that
go. Oh, no, I thought that was going in the pits, but that was just weaving around.
waving around? Who would have thought that the safety car would come out at Long Beach, Rob?
Who would have thought the safety car would have come out on the first lap, Stathis? But here we are. It looked like we had about 6 or 7 cars involved in that carnage in turn number 3. That roundabout, man, it's a really rough spot. You know, you just seen it. Alexander Shanna just barely got into Chris Byram, and it sent Byram around, and with it being essentially a bottleneck right there, it's a very, very narrow part of the racetrack, and everybody sees a car and smoke, and they're like, I gotta avoid something, and there's nowhere to go to avoid something, and you just end up running into other drivers, and it causes a big problem. So big problems down at the back of the field. Luckily, that's a slower section of the race, so hopefully the damage isn't too critical on these guys. They do have one fast repair, but nobody wants to use that on lap 1.
No, I don't think so. It's a very tricky situation at the start because there is no formation lap, so tires are cold, brakes are cold, and it's very easy to make mistakes, especially in such a narrow track like Long Beach. It's gonna be very interesting to see who's gonna come into the pits. Oh,
and
there
it
they
looks
go.
like Chris Byram, Alexander Shanna, nope, Steve Bunting, Eli Cannon, Don Day.
We have 4 cars into the pits. 4 cars. The pit lane is open. They will do their repairs. I don't think there's heavy damage in many of these cars. I don't know. Was it we saw someone do a wheelie with Alexander Shannon. Was it Steve Bunting? I think, or was it one of the Orion cars?
It was one of the Orion cars, but as we take a look here, Steve Grabowski's leading, and he's right behind that safety car. And if you notice, there's no lights on that safety car, which means we're going back racing next time around. It's a very short lap here. Currently, our standings: Steve Grabowski, James Molaire, Lewis Archer, Ivan Baukamp, and Anton Knutson, your top 5.
Very positive that we go back to green so soon. Very positive. If we indeed go.
That's the one thing about
green.
a shorter racetrack is the pace laps aren't as long and aren't as crazy. Looks like these guys' pace laps are just over 2 minutes, so just twice as long as a regular lap. No big deal here, right?
And all the drivers are waving, trying to put some heat onto the tires. The Mustang safety car is going very, very slowly. Not a Mustang is not used to go slowly, Rob, as you fellow Americans know very, very well. But yeah, it's gonna be very tricky when Grabowski throttles it up and the race continues. And yeah, it was a very bad start for Archer. He lost a couple of places, and now he needs to regain those positions. There are fierce opponents ahead of him and behind him.
Like you said at the beginning, though, track position isn't always everything. Keeping it off the wall is, so that's what we've seen Lewis do. But that pace car is going to enter pit road. It's going to be on. Oh, and there goes James Molaire sideways!
Oh, no!
Into almost the pit lane.
What did I say about
he got
cold
it
tires?
That going, but wow!
What did I say about cold tires? Oh, he felt it right into the track. There goes one position for Archer, who's now in second place.
Oh,
comes third.
Buddy Boggs gets into the wall. He's backwards. Definitely out of the way of everybody.
Oh, that was harsh. That was harsh. He's back up to speed. He's back up to speed. Uh, he's not in the middle of the track, so I don't think this will be a safety car. He's not causing any more trouble, but it was a crucial mistake.
Alexander Shanna putting some pressure on Anton Knutson. Battle for third, fourth, and fifth right here, heating up. Steve Grabowski pulling away. Putting the fastest lap down with a 1:11.505. Big fight here back in 8th, 9th, and 10th. Byram and the couple cars that had pitted. Byram's going to make a move into turn number 1. It's going to be rough to be side by side through here. Byram gets into...
Oh no!
Eli Cannon.
Huge crash. Oh. Huge.
And going side the 2x2 into there is not very good. Byram didn't get left enough room by Cannon there.
And we have our second yellow of this race. Oh no. Eli Cannon's not gonna be happy about this. It was very, very, very unfortunate. Byron was on his side. Oh.
We'll have to go back and see what happened there.
The safety car comes out of the pit
Looks
lane.
like we've got
Yet
people
again.
still crashing. Oh, not sure what that means, but
We have no one has come into the pits yet. Buddy Box came out of the pits ahead of the safety car, so he's not one lap down. The safety car will help him.
Steve
I
Grabowski did not want to see that. He was running a half a second faster than Lewis Archer. Definitely was pulling away. Go back here and see what happened.
Yeah. Byron goes on the inside of turn 1. Cannon leaves some space. Side by side. Oh. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, but I think that Byron should have let that one go.
Well, as you see right here, you know,
They are
Byram
side
has
by-
some room. They have some side by side. Eli could have left him a little bit more space, knowing that it pinched there, and Byram could have backed out, but they were fighting for the same real estate there in the corner, and ended up getting together, and Eli Cannon got the worst of it.
Very unfortunate.
And that's going to
situation.
bring out our next safety
Yeah.
car, because he is blocking the racetrack. He can't really turn around there, so safety car comes out for the second time here at Long Beach, 6 laps in. Steve Grabowski out front of Lewis Archer and Ivan Baukamp.
Well, it's coming to the pits. The pits will open at the end of this lap, I believe.
I believe they usually open when they're getting ready to go 1 to go. So once the pits open, the lights should turn off on the safety car when they pass the pit road, or pass the finish line. Sorry. So yep, right there. So the pits would have been open. Doesn't look like we had any takers, and we're gonna go back racing next time around.
I'm surprised that there was no damage to either Byron or Eli Cannon.
Well, it looked like they touched wheels. So if they just touched wheels just a little bit, they might have gotten lucky without getting any damage. Maybe just a little bit of a bent tie rod, if anything. But when you touch wheels, it's not too bad. It's really when you get into someone's back end with your wing or this or that you really start to see the effects.
From what I see, if you go to Anton Natson, you can see that he has damage on his front wing.
Oh
That's
yeah.
something that he needs to repair in the pits. I'm looking also at other drivers if someone has some sort of damage. As we're getting ready to go racing yet again. How is Byram's front wing? It seems okay from the camera I am watching.
Yep, Byram looks like his car is in decent shape. He might have a little bit of a steering problem. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but we're getting ready to go back racing. That Ford Mustang safety car is going to pull in to the pits, and Steve Grabowski's going to have control of this race. We'll have 7 laps complete. We'll be starting lap number 8. So still 58 more laps to go. We've still got a lot of action left.
Of course. Just for your information, the maximum amount of race time is 2.5 hours, but I don't think we're gonna get there. To be honest with you, Rob, and our dear viewers, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every Saturday and Sunday, Formula 2 and Formula 3 races. For you to enjoy as we're about to get back to green. Let's see where very early.
There he goes. Grabowski's on it, but Lewis Archer not letting him get away. Green flag back in the air. We're back racing at Long Beach. Ivan Baukamp trying to stay with these 3. Can we get through?
Everything is fine at the back. Oh, did Archer hit the wall? Did Archer hit the wall?
Lewis
Baukamp goes into P2. Baukamp is second. Archer has fallen into 3rd place. Was that a mistake from Archer?
We don't see that often. Doesn't look like he has too much damage, but definitely threw him off just a little bit. Alexander Shanna under fire from Luis Colon, and Anton Knutson under fire from Shanna. Shanna's right on his bumper.
That's an excellent scrap. Excellent scrap. Look at the speed of this car.
Oh, we're gonna go 3 wide into turn number 1. Shanna thinks better of it. Luis Colon and Anton Knutson trying what? Oh, and the same thing happens. He keeps it straight though. You cannot try to pass through there. Shanna's gonna dive to the inside of Colon. Chris Byram now sticking his nose into it after all this slowing down stuff. Luis Colon's definitely got damage after that. He's definitely hurt.
He lets Byram go. Oh my goodness, what is going on?
What a battle on track. Looks like there's a battle here at the back. Eric Beddoes taking Eli Cannon, and Eli Cannon gets into the wall again. Tough break for Cannon so far today. Shanna on a move, under fire from Chris Byram.
Oh, Don Day has serious damage. For Don Day. He hit his car is destroyed.
Looks like Eric Beddoes has had an issue, and he's now in the pits. Battle heating up for 2nd place. Lewis Archer chasing down Ivan Baukamp.
Gap is already at 2.3 from Baukamp. From Baukamp. 3 Kuda cars in the first 3 places. That's not unheard of.
Grabowski's
Oh,
got...
and we got Nathan off the track. Nathan is off the track.
Chris Byram looks like he crashed. Chris Byram spins out. And then Anton Knutson. What happened with Anton? And we've got more crashing going on. Anton gets into a wall. Buddy Boggs.
And Shan is in the pits too.
So much stuff going on right now.
So much stuff we can't keep up right now.
Baukamp currently pulling away from Lewis Archer just a little bit. After 10 laps complete, Steve Grabowski still out front. Way out front. Almost 4 seconds ahead of Ivan Baukamp in second place. And look at his fastest lap time. 110.861 to a 111.461. So almost a full second faster than these guys. Ivan just ran 11.642. So Grabowski's fastest lap is much faster than these guys. Not sure if he's just pushing it and putting it all on the table right at the beginning or what's going on. But Steve Grabowski about 4 seconds out ahead of Baukamp. And it looks like it's Byram and Cannon going at it down the front straightaway. They're going to be side by side. The replay of what happened a little bit earlier. Byram is going to take that position.
Meadows and Colt are in the pits for repairs.
The top three, if you look, the top three have got almost a 15-second gap on James Molaire.
Oh, Lewis Connor has lost it. Lewis Connor has lost it.
But he's straight on the racetrack at least. He gets it back going straight. Steve Bunting crashes.
He's off track though.
Oh, and he just overdoes his braking zone. Steve Grabowski still out front. Everything is kind of smoothed out just a little bit. People getting into their own little incidents, but Ivan Baukamp, there you see him in the background trying to chase down Grabowski. He's losing time on Grabowski, but he's gaining time on Lewis Archer.
Is it just pace, or is also the fuel?
Looks like Anton Knutson's starting to put the pressure on Alexander Shanna for 8th place.
Yes, this drivers were in the pits for repairs after their offs. And they are still on the lead lap, but with more fuel on their cans. Bodybox has officially retired from the race. I told you the magic number, 10 drivers to finish the race. 10 drivers.
See Shanna trying to break the draft from Knutson, and I believe Shanna just got into the wall. If not, he got very close to it.
These two fighting very, very hard. Different lines as Grabowski's behind them in the background.
Knudsen now a half a second. He's in the toe. Gonna get right up on Shanna's bumper. He's gonna lock it up. He's gonna keep it out of the wall though. That's definitely gonna make him lose some time.
This shows you how difficult these cars are in this particular track. We have to remind our viewers that these F2 cars can use the DRS 8 times only, whenever they want on the racetrack, but only 8 times during the 65 lap race.
And those can be used up quite quickly if you're not expecting it. You know, in practice and in qualifying, you can use DRS as much as you want. So when it comes to the race, sometimes you can get yourself kind of stuck at just in the habit of pushing that DRS button. And if you do that in the race, you really could gain a little bit of time on somebody, you know, at the beginning, but you don't have your, you know, essential push to pass at the end of the race when you really could use it.
Grabowski almost lost it at the exit of the final corner. Almost lost it. He avoided the wall, but he was it was very weird.
Looks like Steve
the
Bunting and
acceleration.
Anton Knudsen had a problem. I'm not sure if it was related. Not seeing a problem there. Our SDK seems to be giving us some stuff. It keeps saying people are crashing, but I don't see people crashing. So, not really sure what that's all about. But either way, up at the front, Steve Grabowski still 4 seconds ahead of Ivan Baukamp. Baukamp doing everything he can to try to reel him in. But Baukamp has put 6 seconds on Lewis Archer, which is very surprising because Archer was within a second of him. So Baukamp not letting Grabowski run away by any means. He's almost got the fastest lap. But, yeah, starting to heat up. 15 laps complete, 50 more laps to go.
Knudsen it's faster than Shanna, who has very weird lines at the back. Right? He's offline and trying to.
Now these two drivers battling for 8th and 9th is going to make it difficult for Steve Grabowski when he catches them. Could make him lose a little bit of time. Oh, and Knudsen spins out into turn 1 right in front of your leader. Almost gets into the leader. Whoa, that was a very crazy rejoin, but Grabowski gets by. And now Baukamp has got to deal with Knudsen. Baukamp's going to get by. And Knudsen's just going to let him go. Very, very risky move by Anton Knudsen to try to overtake Shanna. Ends up getting into the wall. But Baukamp got to gain a second and a half or more on Grabowski with that move. So the time down to 2.3 seconds between Baukamp and Grabowski, and Lewis Archer is still 5 seconds there behind Ivan Baukamp.
Baukamp has gained more time to Grabowski.
Oh, and Ivan Baukamp almost loses it. What a save!
Even oh, Knudsen is in the wall. Knudsen's in the wall at the. Oh, and did he retire? Did he retire? I think he
Looks
retired.
like he jumped to the pits, so we will see.
Oh, what a race this is!
But just
Rough.
after that, a lap after all this happened, Grabowski pulls another second out on Baukamp. So that number 48 car is very, very fast here at Long Beach. And I think it kind of threw Lewis Archer off. You know, I spoke to Lewis Archer earlier in the week, and he was so ready for this race. This is his race. He loves the street tracks. And I think Grabowski and Baukamp having some really, really raw pace is kind of throwing him off a little bit. But nonetheless, Archer still sitting in the podium spot currently, only 8.5 seconds back from the leader at the moment. So we've seen anything can happen. We've seen Ivan Baukamp get loose. We've seen a lot of guys have some problems. So with just under 50 laps left to go, anything can really happen here.
It's a race of survival. We have to remind everyone, it's not easy. It's not easy at all for these drivers. Also, the fuel strategy is gonna play a role. The the tires are gonna play their role. We're still in the early part of the race, lap 19 out of 65. It's an endurance race, this one. The drivers have to stay away from the walls, so let's wait and see how things will evolve. 5.6, the gap between the top 3 drivers. It's not over until the checkered flag is thrown.
And Chris Byram has worked his way up to 5th position. He started, I believe it was 11th place, and is now up to 5th. So even with a couple little mishaps in the race, Byram's still salvaging a decent run so far. As we see Steve Grabowski going through the last sector of the race, or of the track, sorry. He's going to come out and he is going to complete lap 19 and start lap number 20. Ivan Baukamp is just losing so much time on him.
Got 4 points. I think Baukamp had another mistake. Gap went up as Grabowski went faster out of the top 3.
James Miller still putting down lap times that are about the same as the leaders. He's sitting in 4th place, but he's 20 seconds back from Lewis Archer.
He is indeed. And also he's the last driver who hasn't pitted yet. The top 4 haven't pitted in the race so far.
And I believe everybody else is probably going to have to come back a second time just because of the fuel situation. They might have got their tires taken care of, but they might need fuel. It looks like Steve Bunting's hitting pit lane right now. But honestly, these drivers, I'm not entirely sure. Pit lane time looks to be, what, about 40 seconds or so. So our top driver, Steve Grabowski, could pit, and he would come out, I believe, in 4th place still. So Grabowski's got him in a good spot, and James Miller, as we were just talking about him, puts down the fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.221. 0.3 faster than Steve Grabowski's fastest lap. So as these guys start to burn the fuel off, these lap times are going to start coming down, and they'll start getting faster.
He has pace. You talked about pit time. Natson is 4.5 minutes into the pits, and Box and Meadows are more than 10 minutes into the pits. I'm not sure they will come back out unless they have so much damage that it needs to be repaired.
But it's looking like our pit delta time is about 44 to 46 seconds,
yes,
from entry to exit of pit road. So with Grabowski being where he's at, he can definitely make a pit stop and not lose too many positions. He'd probably come out in about 4th place if he took a pit stop right at this time. So Grabowski and Baukamp in very good spots. Lewis Archer doing everything he can. He's our points leader, reigning F3 champion, currently sitting in 3rd place, just biding some time, running some laps. Just over 20 of the 65 completed.
Oh, almost hit the wall at the exit of turn 10.
Starting to see quite a few lap cars coming into factor here. And it looks like he's going to sit there and wait for him. That's one of the turning point racers.
Very generous. Because Shanna, I think it was done day. Or was it Lewis Cullen? It was Lewis Cullen. Lewis Cullen, he's in 10th place, 2 laps now behind the leader. Archer is pushing. He's gaining on Balkan, but they still need to find more time. Grabowski, 23 laps. We're on lap 23, 22 laps completed. We've seen pretty much everything. 2 safety cars and loads of action, but top 6 right now are on the lead lap. Many unfortunate things happened. But let's wait and see what the future holds for the top 3 who are fighting for the win of the race.
Now, someone we gotta actually put a little spotlight on, because considering everything that's going on, Steve Bunting is doing fairly well in this race. He's only got 10 points in the championship after 5 rounds, so he's usually finished about 9th or 10th or so, around there. And he's right on par with where he's supposed to be at. He's only a couple seconds off the leader's fastest lap. About 3.2 seconds off the leader's fastest lap. And he's keeping it clean. He's keeping it right. Any of these guys get into any more trouble, and Bunting will be there to be able to jump on them. You see 2 guys, Alexander Shanna and Don Day, some of the guys that are normally up front running, they're just a little ways ahead of you on the same lap. So Bunting really having a decent run today, and could even get better as the race goes on.
He just did his personal best time, 1:13.0. Not a bad day in the office. Unfortunately, he had some contact at the start of the race. Now let's see. Archer has gained a lot of time to Baucam. Gap is 1 second.
Grabowski just puts the fastest lap of the race down right now, 1:10.202.
5.7 the gap to Baucam, who is starting to lose time. I think that tire degradation has started to play a significant role to these drivers. And
Now, do you think with that tire degradation, do you think that a undercut for either Lewis Archer or Ivan Baucamp would be feasible at this point? We're over a third of the way through the race. You should be able to take a pit stop and go the rest of the way on fuel. Now, do you want to wait till halfway in the race and, try to make them tires last a little more? Or do you want to go in, get some fresh rubber, and try to undercut the person in front of you and try to gain enough time to where having a little bit older tires at the end of the race doesn't really hurt you and you're out front?
personally, I'd wait. I'd wait and see what will happen. I wouldn't want to go early right now. I don't think the drivers can pit right now because the delta is around 40 to 45 seconds. Oh, Byron overtakes Moller.
Moller makes a mistake, and Byron gets around, yeah.
Has he hit the wall? Because he has lost around 20 seconds. Yes, he goes into the pits. Moller is in the pits.
And Lewis Archer's got himself within a half a second of Ivan Baucamp now. Ooh, Baucamp has a little lockup, and Lewis gets into the wall! This is
not what Archer wants.
As you see Lewis, he gives a little wiggle to see if he's got any damage. This might be the point where we see Lewis Archer come in the pits and try to undercut Ivan Baucamp.
Now, how much damage does his car have? Is his suspension okay? His front suspension, his rear suspension? Is there any more damage?
Well, that wall that he hit is rubber tires, so it's not super bad. And if he only just nicked it with the tires, it might not be bad. It looks like his wing's in a good shape. No, it looks like he does have a little bit of damage on that left front wing, doesn't he?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has damage, but that's the opposite. End of the front wing. I think he had somewhere else contact. Not sure.
Well, he's definitely going to have to be a little careful. That damage definitely going to make the car handle just a little bit different. And when you're riding on the edge, a little bit different can send you into the wall. So hopefully Lewis Archer can hold it together. He lost about 2 seconds on Ivan Baukamp there. He's going to be hard pressed to try to pick that back up.
Days in the pits. That's why we saw Bunting overtake him for 8th place. Bunting is doing he's doing his race steady, fast, and we have that's Cannon in the pits, I think. Yes,
Yeah, it looks
Cannon.
like Eli Cannon, our 5th place driver, is in the pits. And Grabowski's got everybody lapped up to 5th place, so only 4 drivers left on the lead lap at the moment.
Let's see how this will change after the pit stop cycle of the drivers.
Chris Byram had a problem. He's in the pits.
Byram. Now, did he?
Ooh, real tough break for Chris. Stuck in the wall.
Oh.
So he definitely has to toe the pits. That is going to be the end of his chances for this race.
He's in the pits right now, so
Tough
he's not
break
blocking
for
the,
Chris Byram.
He's not blocking the track as we speak.
Chris is currently in 10th position, so if he can get out on track, he could still salvage some points, because the 11th, 12th, and 13th place drivers are all in the pits. So even if Chris does not get back on track, he should still finish with at least 1 point for the drivers and constructors standings.
Now will this be a win for Grabowski? Where's Archer? Archer has lost time. Oh no, he's right behind Baukamp again.
Yeah, about 1.4 seconds separating the two at the moment.
Byram is about to exit the pit lane.
And Don Day actually, Byram somehow passes Don Day, so not sure how that works. But now we're being shown Chris Byram in 7th position. So,
Yes,
and up
now
to 6. What? How does that work? Looks like
That's
he
weird.
lost. It looks like he was on the lead. He might have been on the lead lap. I'm not really sure, but somehow
Yes,
gets
he
back out on track, goes from 10th to 6th in the pits.
He was on the lead lap, yes. Indeed.
So, yeah, being on the lead lap kind of saved him a little bit. He's now 6th position. He got his fast repair and got his pit stop underway. We're almost at the halfway point. So it couldn't have happened at a better time. Yes, he lost a lot of time, but is still in a decent spot to be able to salvage some points out of this race.
I think track conditions do play a role regarding the offs in this race. With the tire temperature now into 21 degrees, it's very difficult to get some heat into the tires and very easy to not to break. And yeah, oh, someone's gone off. But
Don Day crashed, but Lewis Archer right on Ivan Baukamp's tail again.
I think it was Lewis Cullen. No?
Looks like Louis Cologne, Eli Cannon, and a few other drivers might have had some issues. So much going on the track, it's hard to follow it all. But we're going to sit here with the battle for P2. Only 3 drivers left on the lead lap. Steve Grabowski, our leader, leads to Ivan Baukamp and Lewis Archer.
At the end of the backstage, we lost the brakes, no damage from what I can see. Consistency has been an issue. Consistency has been an issue for the drivers today. Archer is really pushing. He wants to get by a bow camp.
I feel like Archer is playing it a little conservative right now, just trying to put the pressure on, let Ivan know that he's there. He does have that little bit of damage, so he's not going to have all the speed, but if he could get in the toe of Ivan and somehow make a move.
It will be interesting to see his pace.
Oh, and Ivan Baukamp gets loose in front of Lewis Archer! Lewis saves it, but Ivan Baukamp, sideways on the racetrack, gets it back going straight.
Oh no, Ivan! No, what did you do? Does he have damage though? He didn't spin around.
Ivan makes his first mistake.
That's the wall.
He did touch the wall with the left rear tire.
He went deep. Went over the curb there, and that unsettled the car.
So one mistake for Ivan Baukamp, and that puts Lewis Archer over 5 seconds ahead of him now. 10.8 seconds behind Steve Grabowski. And it looks like Lewis Archer's gaining a little bit on Steve Grabowski. We'll have to see if that's true or not. That might have just Steve might just been through a shorter part of the track, but in the last couple turns, Lewis has picked up a couple tenths on Grabowski.
It's gone up to 10 seconds. 10.3 now. What? Ooh, and Grabowski is behind Chris Byram.
Oh, so Chris Byram may be holding up Grabowski a little bit to help his teammate Lewis Archer. Oh, and he locks up the tires, keeps it off the wall. That would explain why Archer was catching up to Grabowski a little bit. Stuck behind a little bit of lap traffic. And as we come across the stripe, that is going to be halfway through the Long Beach Grand Prix. Steve Grabowski still your leader with Lewis Archer 9.5 seconds back. Archer was a full second faster on that lap than Grabowski was. And Ivan Baukamp is in the pits.
I believe he will use his fast repair. I'm pretty sure about
looks
that.
Looks like Alexander Shanna just had an issue.
Where is he? He's fine from what in my monitor. I don't know.
Not sure.
It doesn't have damage. From yes.
Looks like SDK is playing games with us. Ivan Baukamp coming back out of the pits right now.
So what's the gap? What's the gap? He was around 20 seconds behind the leader.
He's now 52 seconds behind, almost 53.
Yes, that's 35 seconds into the pits.
Lewis Archer had a pretty decent last turn. He's starting to gain on Grabowski just a little bit.
9.4. The gap has opened on the main straight, start-finish straight, if we can call it straight. So that means that Grabowski has less really. Nothing too dramatic going on right now.
Lewis Archer is gaining on Grabowski though. It's at 9.1 seconds. Almost 9 seconds, so he is gaining on Grabowski at the moment.
We always see that, don't we, in the second phase of the race, that Archer, especially after his pit stops, is able to gain more from the car.
Yeah, Archer and Grabowski, the only two that have not made a pit stop yet.
I think Steve Bandic had enough. He hit the wall, front wing damage. Oh! Was that Archer? Actually, I think he hit the wall again at the exit of the last corner. Just a friendly nudge.
So this is how close the leaders are running. Steve Grabowski just ran a 1:10.390, and Lewis Archer just ran a 1:10.388. 2 thousandths of a second separates the leaders and their lap time. So very interesting to see if a pit stop is going to be what settles this race. Oh, and Lewis Archer gets loose. I have to imagine Lewis has got to come to the pit soon. He's got to be ready for a new set of tires and to just get his rhythm back. He's got a little bit of damage, just trying to make it to the end a little bit more. We'll have to see if he tries to overcut on Grabowski or if he'll try to undercut him. I believe the undercut's going to be the better strategy, but
110.4 for Grabowski, and crucially, he's in front of Steve Bunting, who exits the pits. That's another car for... Oh! Bunting in the wall! Bunting in the wall! Oh no! Oh no!
right, coming out of the pits with cold tires.
And we have a yellow. We have a yellow. He was right on the exit of turn 1, and we have a yellow flag. Oh. The race will now be neutralized. 3 cars were coming right behind him. Right behind him. And everything is changing right now. Everything is changing.
Mid-race caution. This is going to allow Lewis Archer to catch up to your leader, Steve Grabowski, and allow them both to pit under caution if that's what they want to do. And with everybody but Ivan Baukamp a lap down, that's going to put Ivan Baukamp in the lead if these guys pit under caution, which is the only way to do it now. That you have to pit under caution. If you wait till you go green and pit, Ivan Baukamp's already got his pit in. He's going to be gone, and there's no chance of catching him. So really, these two leaders have to come down pit road this time. They have to make sure that they get out in a good spot. They should come out with the lap cars going to the back. Ivan Baukamp's not coming to the pits, so all of our lap cars will not be getting wave rounds left to go to the back, and Lewis Archer and Grabowski will be right behind Baukamp for the restart of this race.
What's the situation with the fuel? What's the situation, and also what's the situation with the laps cars? Does Byram need to get a wave?
No, there won't. Nothing will have to get done. There's no admin stuff that we do. iRacing handles all of our admin stuff. The only thing we do is we throw cautions, because iRacing will throw cautions for stuff that we wouldn't normally do. So we do a little bit of the work up here in the booth, but most of it is just watching and making sure nothing happens. But we are at a turning point. I don't know why it said Ivan Baukamp crash, but we'll have to see. Is that an actual real thing?
I don't think so. Did he?
I think SDK is just lying to us, because it tells us people are crashing when they're not actually crashing. So after 37 laps, Steve Grabowski out front of Lewis Archer, Ivan Baukamp, Alexander Shanna, and James Malaire. We've got a mid-race caution just after the halfway point.
Rob, I'm going to leave it up to you, and I will be back with you in less than a minute.
10-4. We're going to see if we get some pit stops here. Steve Grabowski comes into the pits, and Lewis Archer should be following him. Yep, and there he goes. So this should be the final stop of the race. Final pit stops for everybody. The top 3 on the lead lap. With that, Ivan Baukamp is going to go to the front. He made a mistake a little earlier, And it looks like the drivers out front, because they were out front of Baukamp, it looks like Chris Byram, is that Eli Cannon, and possibly James Miller. Is that James Miller or Alexander Shanna? That's James Miller there. So James Miller, Chris Byram, and I believe that is Eli Cannon should all get their laps back when we go back ready to go racing. They should get a nice wave around. So and it doesn't look like it's waving them around. I'm not sure what is going on there, but we'll have to see if it sends them around.
Is there anything that the race control has to do, Rob?
There's absolutely nothing we can do right now. The last time we had someone try to wave people around, it caused a big problem, so we do not touch anything but throw yellow flags. That's all we do up here in the booth, and we call the race to see what it is. If settings are not set correct, we have to make sure that that's done.
Okay.
But these three should be getting waved around. I don't know what it tells them to do in iRacing, so I'm not really sure. But our leader is Ivan Baukamp. If the race starts with these guys in front of Baukamp, that's how the race is going to start. But Grabowski came out of the pits in front of Archer.
So, Baukamp leads the race because he pitted before.
Yep, so Ivan Baukamp currently the leader. We're going to go back racing here on lap number 40.
James Moller is on the same lap as the leaders. And there we go. We are racing yet again at Long Beach. Baukamp leads the race.
Ivan can't really be happy about starting with lap cars in front of him. These guys are all trying to get their lap back right now, so Ivan's just going to have to work through it. Steve Grabowski's a little ways back.
Ooh, Archer almost went at the back of Grabowski. Almost.
Archer definitely at Grabowski's door, wants to get it done while he can.
Oh, very tricky situation there with the lap cars. Oh, goodness me. That was Cullen, Cannon, and Shanna. All of them are fighting for positions.
Baukamp got a 1.5 second gap over Grabowski.
And the important thing for the top three is that in front of them is Moller and Byram, two quick, very, very quick drivers who should have been on the lead lap and fighting with them. But due to mistakes, they are not. Oh, did you see Grabowski?
Yeah, and those cars being in front of these guys is going to help with some of the draft. Looks like James Miller's going to the pit road. He's getting out of there, so now it's just Chris Byram out in front of the leaders.
Grabowski is pushing very, very hard. He wants to regain first place from Baukamp. As the sun is almost set, are we going to have a finish at night time here at Long Beach? The pit road right now.
Just James Miller. If James Miller stays in the pits too long, Chris Byram can get by him and take that 5th place position over him. This is the battle for the lead and for the win. Top 3, Baukamp, Grabowski, and Archer. Oh, Grabowski almost gets into Ivan Baukamp in the last turn.
Now can he pass him? Can he pass him? And Archer is watching. Archer is watching closely.
Yeah, Lewis is in a really rough position right now. He's there with them, but if these guys make a mistake,
Midnight on the inside,
and Grabowski gets into the wall, and then he gets into Ivan Balkamp.
No!
Lots of damage for Grabowski. Lewis Archer, I believe, made it out clean. I don't think Lewis got any damage from that.
Unbelievable. Grabowski has damage. Balkamp has damage, and Shana is overtaking him right now. I'm pretty sure he has a lot of damage, Balkamp.
Shana's still a lap down, so that's not going to be for position. Balkamp just needs to hold on and not get lapped, and he can finish third. So he can still hold it together. The battle's going to be for first here. Steve Grabowski with damage, and Lewis Archer with a fresh car just waiting, watching, lurking, and just going to hammer down.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Archer has seen what happened. Balkamp in the pits. Balkamp in the pits. Alexander Shannon now it's in fourth place, and if Balkamp's pit stop is more than 1.5 minutes, then it's gonna be Shannon in the podium. Ooh!
Lewis Archer really putting the pressure on Grabowski.
What a race we're witnessing right now, ladies and gentlemen.
He's gonna make the move. He's going to the outside, and he makes the crossover to the inside. Side by side, Lewis is going to back out. He doesn't want that, boys. Lewis has to be very, very careful. He knows Grabowski has damage. He knows he's faster than him. He's just got to get by him clean. Grabowski has been on one the last few races. He's been fast, but hasn't been able to finish. And he really does not want to let Lewis Archer by for this win.
What a different line. Oh, he's going into the pits. Grabowski's in the pits.
Grabowski's in the pits. Make your new leader, Lewis Archer, in the CUDA Works F2.
Oh, I think.
Lewis has got this in the bag now. Lewis just has to not make a mistake over the next 21 laps. Ivan Balkamp, the third place runner, went into the pits. Steve Grabowski now went into the pits. So the battle is going to be between Steve Grabowski and Ivan Balkamp for third place now. And
Balkamp has come out of the pits, and he is 30 seconds ahead of Shannon. But where is he compared to?
Well, Grabowski's just now coming out of the pits. I think Ivan spent a little bit more time. And now Ivan Balkamp's going back into the pit lane.
Again! That's going to cost him third place.
Tough break for Ivan. Not sure why he's doing that, but Lewis Archer, if you look at the lap times, he's almost got that extra point for the fastest lap. He's only 1600ths off the pace. So Lewis could still put down the fastest lap here in the race as we cross the stripe.
Such a weird race. Such a very weird race.
And there it goes. Alexander Shanna passes Ivan Balkamp for fourth position.
And as we speak, Muller has also retired from the race. We didn't see that one. Steve Grabowski. Oh, Steve Grabowski has cut enough. Steve Grabowski is in the pits.
Steve Grabowski crashed. See what happened with Steve here. Is it another thing that we've seen all year long where he just gets frustrated and loses it? And it is right there. Just cannot hold the car together and gets into the wall. Tough break for Steve, and then he hits the wall again.
We said it's a race of survival. We said it was a race of survival. What a roller coaster for Grabowski. He was leading by 10 seconds.
That now puts Grabowski down to 7th position, and Alexander Shanna moves up to P2. And Ivan Balkamp is back on the leaderboard on the podium.
He's 28 seconds ahead of Balkamp. And wow, what a race! We told you just pretty much many times during the broadcast that it's gonna be a race of survival, and indeed that is the case.
Well, Stathis, I believe you were wrong. I don't think we have two drivers that made it through without spinning or doing anything. So, yeah, it's definitely been a very interesting race. We have 20 more laps to go. Lewis Archer is currently one lap ahead of the entire field at the moment. So as long as Lewis Archer does not have a catastrophic failure, and as long as he holds it together and doesn't make a mistake, Lewis Archer will pull off the hat trick and win the Long Beach Grand Prix and make it 3 in a row here in the F2 Series.
Yes, maybe my prediction was a little bit optimistic. I don't know. But we still have 20 laps to go. 20 laps to go, and anything can happen. Maybe Byron smells some maybe podium glory. I don't know. He's 10 seconds behind Baukamp, and let's see what will happen. It's Archer's race to lose, and there are 6 drivers left in this race, and I think also Dundee. Not Dundee here? No, he's not.
No, I believe we've got 6 drivers left in this race. Archer, Shanna, Baukamp, Byram, Cannon, and Cologne.
Can Byram catch Baukamp? And why Baukamp had another pit stop? Change the tires, and
Not sure what Ivan was hitting the pits for. He's pitted 3 times so far. So maybe he's just not happy with the way his car is right now. Maybe he's trying to fix some damage because he's used his fast repair early on. Not really sure, but if he holds on right now, he can still take that podium spot. But Chris Byram is catching him. Chris Byram now only 8 seconds behind and gaining.
he lost 1.5 seconds in the last lap. Race the pace is in 1:12. Fastest man on track is Chris Byram right now in 1:11.2. One hour of racing has passed. We're less than 20 laps until the end of the race. Lewis Archer is leading from Shanna, Alexander Shanna, Ivan Baukamp, Chris Byram, Eli Cannon, and in 6th place we have Lewis Callan.
Now, Ivan Baukamp's really got to be punching himself. He was up front. He was running in second. He was doing fine. And in a fashion unlike we really see from Ivan, he just lost it all on his own. And that's really uncharacteristic of him. When he gets here to the race day, he's really on it. So, yes, he still is in 3rd position, but he is not in a position to win the race right now, unless something magically happens to Lewis Archer and all of a sudden Shanna and Baukamp are battling for the race. But at the moment, I mean, he's got himself in a good position, but he could have been in a lot better position if he wouldn't have made that one mistake on his own. And that's what one mistake does to you. It just takes one time, and next thing you know, you're a lap down, fighting for 3rd instead of the lead.
It will be very interesting what's going to happen from now on. The gap is 7 seconds to Byram. Byram is gaining. 1:12.2 for Baukamp. Byram did now 1:11.0, 1.2 seconds. There's a fight in our hands right now, and yeah, it's between Byram and Baukamp for the last spot on the podium, as Colin had enough at the first corner. And if we see such chaos today, what's going to happen tomorrow with 20 plus cars? Buddy Box has returned to the track. I think. I think he wants to come on. He sent
It looks like Don Day is back on the racetrack. Yes, he's currently running 10th position. We only have, um, I believe, 5 cars out of the race. So I believe there's 6 or 7 still left in this race.
No, let's see. Let's see.
No,
what,
there's only 6 cars out on track at the moment. So yeah, everybody else has either retired or is sitting in the pits still watching the race.
Yes, Bodybox said that he's pitting out, so maybe he's trying to return onto the track. Maybe he sends some points up for grabs. Maybe.
Buddy's been in the pits for 49 minutes. So he's probably been fixing his car. If he's going to get out, it's just to be able to drive around and get some seat time. But he's definitely not going to be able to make up any points as of right now.
Oh! Archer touched the wall. That's the wall at turn 2.
Archer making it busy. But yeah, Buddy Boggs is 40 laps down. So in order for him to get some points, he would need to complete 20 laps, I believe, or close to about 18 laps. So he is just shy of being able to make up some points on Dante. Lewis Archer still out front. 15 more laps to go here at the Long Beach Grand Prix. Archer having a kind of slow start. I mean, he didn't get out front. He was very, very cautious through the first half of this race. Got caught up into a little bit of issue, but avoided some really big wrecks and kept that car clean, which was the big key to the race, is keeping your car clean. And he kept his car clean for the second half of the race, and the other 2 leaders got into it, and now Archer is all by himself on the lead lap. He's got the entire field down a lap, and he's really moving.
Byram took another second of ball count. Gap it's 6.2 right now. So Byram is pushing.
Byram doing everything he can to try to make up a podium spot.
At the same time, Byram is 20 seconds in front of Eli Cannon. So Archer may be on 1 lap ahead of everyone, but everyone else is on the same lap and fighting.
Well, Eli Cannon is actually 1 lap down further than Chris Byram, so Eli Cannon wouldn't be able to do anything to Byram. Byram but is about to go another lap down, though. Lewis Archer is right behind him. It's whether Lewis actually puts him that lap down or not. You see Lewis there in the back of the picture as we're taking a look at Chris.
I'm pretty sure he's on the same lap as... yes, he's on the same lap as... So...
Oh, and Chris Byram goes sideways right in front of our leader! He gets out of the way. Now Byram's going to be on the same lap as Eli Cannon as Lewis Archer gets past him. And he's going to lose a lot of time to Ivan Baukamp in that podium spot.
So Archer is on lap 52 right now. Shan is on 51. Baukamp's about to go on 51. And yes. I'm pretty sure that Eli Cannon is on the same lap as he's the last on the same lap with Shan. So yes, we have 13 laps to go.
12 laps to go as Lewis Archer crosses the line right now.
Indeed.
Completes lap number 53.
Archer is not pushing though. He's lapping in 1 minute 12.
He has absolutely no reason to push. When you push, you induce risk, and there's no reason to risk anything right now. He's a full minute and 30 seconds in front of Alexander Shanna. So in order for Shanna to get by him, Lewis would really have to, ultimately, he'd either have to wreck his car really good and go to the pits, or he'd have to get stuck in the wall and have to tow. Those are the two things, and the only way to make those two things happen are to risk something. So Lewis is definitely not going to risk anything. He's just going to Sunday drive around the racetrack. I bet you he probably wouldn't have even passed Chris Byram if he got there. He probably would have just rode alongside or here or there. But with Chris getting loose and having a problem, as Chris almost gets sideways again coming out of the last corner there. Lewis is just sailing. 11 more laps to go, and Archer's going to be a 4-time winner in 7 races.
Happiest man today has to be Alexander Shanna, second place. Driver, he gained 4 positions from his starting one, and everyone has pretty much gone out of his way. He had he was unlucky with some crashes and offs, but now he's sitting in a comfortable second place that will help him in terms of championship fight.
Now, with how crazy this race is, and with how much we've seen almost every single driver have issues happening to them, who do you think is going to get that point for the cleanest race?
I have absolutely no idea right now. Cleanest race, right?
I honestly want to say it's probably going to be. I haven't really seen everything that's gone on, but I want to say Alexander Shanna is probably going to get that cleanest point. I didn't see him really getting into a bunch of wrecks with anybody. We haven't really seen Shanna sideways or backwards or anything like that. He did have a little bit of issue, once. But, I mean, I think everybody's had some type of issue, so everybody's going to have some type of incident points. But I'd have to say Alexander Shanna has probably run the cleanest race out of everybody so far.
I think Lewis Archer will get the extra point. He has the least incidents.
Lewis Archer has the least incidents at the moment. Okay.
My information says 2. Shanna has 8, Balkan and Colin have 6. That's my understanding.
Looks like Lewis Archer having a cleaner race than it looked. He's been in the middle of a bunch of stuff, but somehow keeping it clean.
He's pushing though. His last lap was 1:10.8. Now his lap is 1:10.6. He wants the fastest lap of the race.
Maybe that's what it is. He does. Looks like Eli Cannon.
Oh, Byram had enough. Byram had enough. Oh,
Chris
Byram
crashed. Oh, there's a crash that happened in front of him.
but
Eli Cannon had an issue right in front of Chris Byram, and I wonder if that caused Chris problems.
Ooh.
Oh, maybe not. No, Eli just goes around. What happened to Chris? Looks like... Did he just stop?
Oh, he crashed. Oh, yes. At the same corner that... Yes, right here.
Oh, yeah, it was right there. Gets the car out of the way and then calls it quits. So tough break for Chris Byram.
Get another driver off.
That's going to put him down to 6th position. And that's going to put Eli Cannon within 25 seconds of... Oh, Ivan Baukamp is still on the lead lap, but getting ready to be lapped by Lewis Archer. So... Lewis about to take and lap the podium driver a second time, and it looks like Ivan's gonna let him go.
Oh, very wide line from Baukamp there, very, very wide. What a race!
Yeah, it definitely is getting dark here. These drivers might be having a little bit of a visibility problem now because with all that rubber on the racetrack, it's starting to get really dark. And I don't know. Do they have lights on this circuit?
I don't think so. I don't think
I
they
feel
have.
like the lights would have turned on by now if they had lights here. So
Yes.
luckily, as he comes across the stripe, we've got 6 more laps to go.
Not much left. Not much left. Archer from Shanna, from Balkan, from Ken, from Colin. 5 drivers. I think Byron's guy. He's out of the car. He's out of the car by. I don't think he will return on the track. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah. Balkan's
Lewis
running in
Archer
one-
really is pushing right now. I think what it is that sun's going down, so it's getting a little darker. The track is cooling off, and I think he's like, yeah, I got some grip right now. I'm gonna salvage me an extra point while I have time, even if I have to go to the pits and use my fast repair or whatever. You know, he can still come out and win the race. So maybe he is pushing these last couple laps, trying to see if he can pull off that fastest lap.
Can he do it? 1 minute 10.6. No, he's not near the fastest lap of the race.
I think he's pushing, but I don't think he's pushing hard enough to actually risk anything. We'll see, though.
He doesn't have to.
Oh, and he gets really loose there coming out of 3.
He's trying for that fastest lap, please answer. He's. Let's see, can he do it? Fastest lap of the race is 1 minute 10.2. 2-0 from Grabowski.
I seen Luis Colon had an issue. Looks like he's got a little bit of front wing damage.
Front wing isn't looking
Oh,
good.
and he just missed his braking zone.
Now right in front of Archer, who's about to complete his lap. He's on lap
That's
60 right now.
5 laps to go.
110.6 again from Archer. So no fastest lap for him right now.
Alexander Shanna still running in second place with Ivan Baukamp in third.
Comfortable lead for Shanna. Baukamp is losing 2 seconds per lap from Eli Kennan, but the gap is 17 seconds right now. So I don't think that Baukamp's podium is at risk.
Unless Baukamp makes him another mistake, and look how dark it is. It is getting dark fast. These guys, it is definitely getting harder to see the racing. Was definitely not expecting the sun to go down this soon in sim time, but we are a little bit later on in the year, so it does happen. Lewis Archer coming out of last turn, 4 more laps to go. Alexander Shanna still having a great drive in that number 42 Lumos eSports machine. Sitting in second place. He put himself in the right position. He started a little further down on the grid. But he definitely had a great drive today here at Long Beach. I'm sure he's going to be very, very happy with it. And he's edging out Ivan Baukamp, who's a very fierce competitor, running in third right now.
I can see after the race, the stewards having to do loads of work. And I think tomorrow is going to be pretty much the same third consecutive lap for us in 1 minute 10.6. 1:13 for Sean and Baukamp. Ken had 1 minute 17 laps, so he lost quite a lot of time to Baukamp. It's very dark. It's getting very, very dark right now. I think everyone is praying that Archer will finish the race as soon as possible so they can cross the finish line. and he does the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 10.1. "109's in the race. He's got the rhythm of the night." Oh! Was it though? No, it wasn't. Still on two. Still on two. Wow. Wow, it's very, very dark. It's very dark. I don't know if the drivers can see right now. The track. It's nighttime. It's That's very scary for everyone right now. He's still pushing. He's still pushing 1 minute 10.5. There is no need to push. No need. This is this, this is not how you want.
On
This
the
is not how you want your California ride to go.
Sorry about the technical folks, the technical issues. Mike was muted for a moment there. We are on the last lap here. Lewis Archer driving in the dark along with everybody else.
That's not something you see every day.
Oh, I thought he was about you. You missed it. It's getting that point.
I think it doesn't say. We see the brakes glow.
Stop! Whoa, Lewis. Careful, man. You ain't won it yet. As he comes out of the last corner, he's going to do it. A 3-time in a row, Lewis Archer wins the Long Beach Grand Prix. Oh, and those are the lights on the safety car. That's not even the pits. Alexander Shanna is going to come home.
Bocam is in the final corner. Bocam is about to finish the race.
There goes Ivan. He's going to take home third. And Alexander Shanna, he's a ways back here. But he is going to be our second place finisher. And you can't even really see his car. You can only see the halo around his head. It's so dark here right now.
These drivers are riding are driving by memory now. As Alexander Shanna comes around the final corner, he crosses the finish line and he takes second place for the Long Beach Grand Prix for the Formula 2 Championship
And
of
Eli
IFL.
Cannon is going to come home fourth in his Orion Racing entry. Great drive for him, just short of a podium. But he gets it done. Very, very well done. And there we have it, folks. The Long Beach Grand Prix. 65 laps. We end under no lights. Lewis Archer is your winner with Alexander Shanna and Ivan Baukamp filling out the podium.
Wow, what a race did we witness, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, goodness me, we're racing under. Archer and Shan are doing donuts right now, as we speak. I don't think they can see each other, but they're doing donuts after this race. 1 hour and 30 minutes the race lasted. Simply
Wow,
amazing.
what a drive. And now we got to see if we can't get our top three into the broadcast booth here a minute. So
Of
if you
course,
give us just a moment, we
after the
will
race has
get that
ended.
stuff going.
We're waiting.
Alrighty. And it
We're waiting for
looks
our top
like
three for the interviews.
we've got third place Ivan Baukamp coming up to us.
Man, hey man, I'm not happy with him, huh?
Ivan, hello.
Yo, yo, yo.
Uh, you are on air right now. You finished third in this chaotic Long Beach Grand Prix. You had your chance to win. You had your battles. You had the excellent pace, but in the end, it was it's P3, third place in the end under the night. How was your race? Tell us about your race.
In the beginning, the start was good, great. I had the same pace as Lewis. Steven, he was gaining a little bit and just a little bit, and still keep up. You know, sometimes he gained, and the battle with Lewis was epic, just like Austria. And I remember it was lap 32. I spun because my tires they were off, and I should have pit one lap earlier because yeah, that way I didn't spin because I couldn't go on with my tires. So that was not the right call, and yeah, after that I did my stop and the safety car came and I was like incredible, nice. I can go on with my fight, and yeah, I was in P1 and safety car was gone, and I had some blue flags ahead of me, and I was easy with my tires, and yeah, Stephen came behind me, and first in the last corner he hit my rear, and yeah, we came on the straight, and I saw him coming. And I brake late, and I saw him. He wanted to break me out, and I knew it was impossible. So I let him go. He hit the wall, yeah, and he finished my race, man. And from that moment, everything went, yeah, was shit. I had,
We saw you pitting 2 times after your contact with Steve. That cost you the second place in the race. Why did you pit the third time? I understand that second time it was due to damage, but the third time,
yeah, I was so angry, man. So I did my pit exit wrong, and I get a black flag, and yeah, my blood was boiling, man. The last part of the race, so. Yeah, so I went back again and didn't change my pit strategy, so I was on full tank. I never drive in full tank, so when I was out again, I didn't have the control on my car like I normally do, so I couldn't push. And I spun 2 times because I couldn't control. I was so heavy, man, so I wanted to smack my car into turn. I don't know what turn it is. Maybe you saw that when I spun. And the car didn't did what I want, and yeah, I was boiling. And what am I going to do? And Alex, he passed me already when I was in the pit. I was lucky that Stephen also crashed. That's what the P3 give me. But Chris, he was behind me and he was catching. I was so heavy, I couldn't push anymore, you know. And Chris, he spent, and I'm lucky. Yeah, yeah. If he didn't sprint, I didn't have the podium. So
Rob. Rob.
Yeah, it was definitely unlucky. We seen the battle with you and Steve Grabowski at the beginning of the race.
yeah.
Not sure exactly why the lap cars were stuck out in front of the leaders, and I know That's got to be frustrating for you being the leader and not having that clean track in front of you. And you did a good job getting around them, but
Mm.
Steve just really sent it into turn number one. Were you really expecting that to happen? And what do you have to really do to mentally prepare for knowing that in the next couple seconds there's probably going to be a collision?
You mean when he wrecked me in turn one?
Yeah, and like in turn one, when he overdrove, got into the wall, you got to keep going. You can't just stop in the middle of the racetrack because someone hits the wall. You gotta go and you gotta move. You gotta do something. So how do you really know? Like you said, you knew he was coming. How do you
Yeah.
prepare for something like that? And obviously you weren't able to get out of the way of him enough, and he even really kept going and tried to give Lewis a battle after that. So he was really hard on it, trying to make sure that he was the leader. But how do you mentally prepare yourself for not only getting up to that lead point, but trying to defend it with someone who is so aggressive?
Well, normally I defend the inside, but I saw him coming, and I saw he had the speed, but I didn't break early or something, so I knew if he wanted to break me out, he's gonna hit the wall, and that is exactly what happened. So I let him go, and I wanted to go around him, but I don't know what he did. I think he pushed the throttle right again, and I don't know. I don't know. He spun, he hit my car, I hit the wall, and yeah, from that my chassis it was fuck, man. I had to stop again.
It
And
was
yeah, from that moment, everything went wrong, man.
it was definitely a tough break. Took you out of contention for the win, but you did
Mm.
finish on the podium. You got another podium here for the Cudi Evo F2 team. Your teammate is gone this week, so it's good to get those points up on the board for your constructor standings. Anybody you wanna thank?
I want to thank everybody who was watching at IFL, and shout out to Cristiano if he's watching. Yeah, for everybody. It's a great competition, and yeah, shout out to everybody.
Best of luck, Ivan, next week at Road Atlanta. I do hope that your luck will be better next time.
It's a great track. I just bought it and did some laps, and I have a great setup from PDS. So yeah, I did maybe 30 laps or something, and the track it suits me so well. I like it with the chicanes, and oh man, it's crazy, and I can't wait to go to Atlanta, man. And I will strike back.
Excellent. Ivan, thank you very much. Tough luck tonight, and best of luck next time.
Yeah,
Cheers.
you guys too, man. Cheers.
And there it is, Ivan Baukamp, your third place finisher, finishing out the Long Beach Grand Prix in a crazy fashion. Up next is our second place finisher. Started a little further back in the pack, worked his way up, kept his car fairly clean, and got himself to P2. Alexander Shanna, congratulations. What a ride. And I have to ask, what was it like finishing in the dark? When we looked at you, we couldn't even see your car. We just saw the halo around your head.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was rough. I couldn't even see where my positioning of my wings are, where the positioning of the tires were, because it's a black car with black background with black everything, and it was just you're looking for glint. You're looking for a little bit of a glint off the road at certain spots, glints off the signs, and glints off of your car. So reflections really mattered a lot there at the end.
That sun actually really went down quite fast.
Yeah.
How were you guys kind of expecting it to happen that way, or did it just catch you by surprise?
Kind of caught us by surprise. We ran this last year, and we ran it at 50% true length of race, and we were fine. We didn't have this, and then we ran it this year, figuring, hey, yeah, we had light all the way up to the end of the race. We're going to be running things great, and we ran out of light within like the last 5 or 6 laps. It just got dark really fast, so we kind of know our cutoff point.
Yeah.
We
At
saw
this point.
Lewis Archer. He was a full lap ahead of you, and with that darkness came some grip on the racetrack, and he actually went through and beat Steve Grabowski's time to get the fastest lap of the race. But he was really pushing in the last few laps and getting loose and stuff. What is your mindset when you're sitting second place? I mean, you've got Ivan Baukamp, but he's 43 seconds behind you. Do you really try to push to get that last extra point? I mean, were you trying to get that point with the grip level that we had, or were you just
Nope.
kind of trying to bide your time and make sure that you held on to that second place?
Nope, not at all. 18 points is much more valuable than 1 point. So um, the pushing for the extra point, that's a personal decision for Lewis to make if he's wanting that extra point. But as he had said after we were done racing, he said he made a few mistakes there when it was starting to get dark, probably because he was pushing to get that extra point. To me, it's more valuable to just buckle down, concentrate on the laps ahead. Just take it one lap at a time and make sure that I'm going to get second place in those 18 points. Um, the real pace that I was looking at was Ivan's, just to make sure he wasn't gaining, and he seemed like his damage was keeping him from gaining on me. So I just ran my race, ran at a comfortable speed, at a comfortable position on the track, and just kept it going.
Alex, tell us about the first part of the race. We saw you had some incidents and you fell way back very early. Tell us about what happened and the race up until the third safety car, which was the last one.
So the first safety car was unfortunately my fault. I kind of expect a few points thrown my way for it for bumping Chris going through the fountain area. So that one was a little on me. There's a little damage there uh, on my front wing, I believe, and then on the restart, teammate James had slipped up, spun it around, coming around the hairpin, and then I think it was after the second restart, I had slipped up a lap in. My tires weren't up to temp, and I pushed it too hard and ended up spinning myself around. Thankfully, it was right in front of the pit lane, and I hadn't passed it yet, so I was able to just pull right across the track into the pit lane and get my repairs. But that's really what kind of saved me. I was able to push as long as I could on those tires. I was planning on just trying to go as far as I could, and if my tires blew out, then they blew out, and I would pit. But I was going to try and make it to the end because I had enough fuel. And then the third safety car happened. I jumped in, got another half a gallon of fuel just to make sure I had enough for the end, and then threw some tires on, and the rest was history. There, just try to run it as clean as possible. It looked like Ivan and Steven were fighting ahead of me. I was just hoping that they were going to slow each other up enough for me to try and make some kind of move, and it seemed like it worked. They were fighting each other. Ivan had to pit, Steven had to pit, um, and I got by both of them. So luck was on my side for today.
How's your mindset changing now after second place for the next race next week?
Same as it always is. My mindset is always consistency. I don't mind if I'm a half second or a full second behind on pace, as long as I can hit a full race,
Mhm.
without any major screw ups. So I bumped the walls a couple times. I had my one spin. Thankfully, I was within pitting distance, so I was able to kind of recover from that. But running a half second, but smacking into the wall is not worth the inconsistency. So definitely consistency. I preach it to the team, and I try and help these guys out with keeping concentration the whole race. But sometimes in a lap where you're going 65 laps, a race where you're doing that, it's hard to keep concentration and keep your mental state in a good place for that many laps, that much repetition, dodging traffic, dodging people that are coming up behind you. It's a rough go.
All right, thank you very much, Alex. Congratulations on your second place, and Best of luck next week at the Road Atlanta. I have to keep reminding myself not to say Road America, completely different tracks. Yeah, solid points finish, second place, a bit of an unexpected result considering the chaos that happened. And yeah, well done.
Thank you guys.
There he
Cheers,
is,
Alex.
Alexander Shanna, finishing P2 in the Long Beach Grand Prix. But the man of the hour, the three-timer, he's done it 3 in a row, 4 times in the 7 rounds that we have. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Lewis Archer, coming on top once again. Lewis, what a race! Talk us through your race.
That was very hard, very hard at the beginning. Anyway, like the had to use more brains in that race than any other race that I've had. 65 laps is it's nothing to laugh about, you know, and just the aggression from some of those guys up the front coming off the first lap, second lap, you know, even when we rejoined after that first safety car period, the guys were so fighty, and I just thought you're just not going to get to the end of 65 laps. You keep doing that. I'm not going to say they're going to continue fighting. Just the level was much more committed than I was willing to put in at so early on in the race, and I just let James drive off. I let Steve drive off a bit. You know, he got 9 or 10 something seconds on me at the beginning of the race. You know, I generally didn't have an answer for that until I saw Ivan start to make some mistakes and he started to come back. And then all of a sudden, Ivan's Steve Grabowski's pace sort of didn't back off, but I noticed that I could start to take some time out of it. And then obviously we had that mid-race safety car again, and Ivan and Steve started fighting, and it was just Ivan span right in front of me at one point. Get round there and get round the two, just get round everything, and it would just be there on the 65th lap. It was least amount of incidents as possible. And
So
then once I had that, sorry, go.
no, so we had a couple safety cars in this race that really threw a wrench into a few of your guys' stuff. Steve was getting way out front, and you were just getting brought right back. And then you and Steve both pitted, or hadn't pit. Ivan had pit, and that last safety car came out, and Ivan was out in front of you, and it was literally you guys had to pit. There was no chance. Ivan had already pit. If you guys would have pit on the green, he would have gone. So you guys had to pit, take that yellow. Now, what was it like being behind Ivan and Steve? Steve was very aggressive. He's had a rough go the last few races. He was up front. He wanted that lead, wanted that win, and that was his. And he was aggressive. How did you get through that wreck without getting touched? I could not believe my eyes when I saw you go through that area and come out clean behind Steve.
That both of the times of the incidents that I avoided, I read the situation before it happened. So the way that Ivan and Steve were coming up down that back straight, I thought if just they're two incredibly aggressive drivers, and like you said, Steve really wanted that win, and I felt like he also had it, and you know, you probably felt like the most deserved driver on the grid to win that race. So he sent it positively up the inside, and I knew Ivan wasn't just going to give it up. And I sort of thought maybe this is the moment they're going to clutch, and they just disappeared around the corner. And I thought it looked like they were going to touch, and then I came around the corner and they had still touching, and I just slung it up the right, probably a bit of luck as well. I just went as far right as I could, and Ivan's car didn't. I expected his car to swing around and catch me, but from then on, it was just go.
What was your feelings and what were you thinking when the sun has set down and it was dark?
Yeah, it was that last 3 or 4 laps, isn't it? It was quite difficult. It didn't feel too bad on my setup. I know Ivan was just saying there how he couldn't see anything, and it wasn't that bad for me. It was quite dark, but yeah, no, when that second safety car came out, I really didn't know what to do. So I had 15 or so laps of fuel left, and I was only at that point fighting with Steve, who also I knew had to pit as well. and we were in a bunch of lapped cars and things like that. And I thought this is going to be so. I really honestly I don't know if I don't pit, I can just come out after the safety car, and if Steve pits, I'll be in the lead, and I've got probably 10 or 11 laps to go mad, and then come in the pits. And then I saw him pull in the pits, and I thought, no, I just got to respond to that. I have to do it because he's done it. It just makes it fair now, and then put us right back. Ivan was in the lead. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I thought I'd lost it then. Actually, I thought that might be a bad decision. Oh, I've got to run with it now. And yeah, honestly, Long Beach was a long beach, definitely.
Definitely a very long race. 65 laps was a lot more here than I think we were kind of expecting. It was really a race of attrition and survival. Um, I don't think I seen a single car that did not touch the wall or get a little bit loose throughout the race. So it was definitely interesting watching you just kind of chill back there in third place and just wait for Ivan and Steve to really get together. But inevitably, it worked for you. The week off really didn't harm you at all, and you pulled off 3 victories in a row. Got the hat trick starting off here with the U.S. Tour. That's got to feel good to you to know that you had the momentum in the first section. We had a little break, and you start back off, and the momentum's still there.
Yeah. That's I mean, I genuinely take the break as well. So the week off. I mean, I know some of the guys used that 2 weeks to get on and practice for this race for 2 weeks. But I genuinely just I decided to have that time off, stay away from the wheel for a bit, and just to let my mind relax from having to go through that race routine for that week. And then come the next Monday, you start picking it up again, set up the car, and I gave myself just that 1 week to prepare again. But yeah, 65 laps. That is enough to change the way you have to think about it completely. So I just whatever happens at the start of the race, 65 laps is just crazy. That's so long. You're going to have fatigue in the later half. You're going to have mental lapse, concentration, people slipping up, making mistakes. You have a solid 30 laps, and then your second 30 laps are just really shoddy. So I just relied on that, really. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I don't really have the pace right now to go against the guys going flat out, but come 30 laps, it may come back to me, and it actually came back a bit sooner than that. But just a wild race, absolutely wild race, but good points to go into the American Tour with.
Final question from Milju is: we saw a pretty hectic battle in qualifying with 3 drivers in the same tenth. What was the situation there?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I can't speak for the other guys. From my situation, just struggling to get a lap down. I don't know if it was the rubber on track or just the time it took to get tires up. But I'd do my out lap, and I'd give 1 lap away, and then I'd come to do my push lap. I'd just do tiny little mistake just in one corner, not enough to hit the wall, but just enough for me to feel like there's not quite enough grip to then push in the next 3 or 4, 5 corners for a real hot lap. And then all of a sudden, right at the end of the session, I come into turn 1, I chuck my foot on the brake, and it just felt really, really hooked up. And I thought, right, that's it. You have to go with this feeling now. Turn 2, 3, 4, and they all felt great. 5 and 6, and it genuinely all came together. And then when I come over the line to nick that pole, I thought, I can't do no better than that. There's still 5, 6 minutes of the session left. I couldn't. That was it for me. So if Steve managed to get more than that, I'd have not had an answer, no. But it was enough, thankfully. But he still done me on the start, didn't he?
Yeah, he did
Rob,
get you a little bit there on the start, but inevitably you came back victorious. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for your 3rd victory here in a row?
Yeah. Last time I thanked the admin and the guys that run this. That's pretty obvious. But yeah, this time I'd like to thank my team. They are a very comfortable and warm, friendly bunch to be with. It's taken a while to build up the roster we've got, and I appreciate being part of that group each week. It's really starting to feel like a family clique now. But yeah, I just think everyone's got their own part to play, me included, and I just really enjoy being a part of it and part of the IFL. And everything. It's been really, really good. And I say this as well. Shout out to the F3 guys that are going to race tomorrow. I'm really, really, really looking forward to watching this all happen again tomorrow. Another really long race. You've got 50 laps to go there, and a whole nother story.
Yeah, that one will be interesting. But there you have them, ladies and gentlemen. Your Long Beach Grand Prix winner, the number 46 Cuda Works, Lewis Archer. Congratulations on your third win in a row, Lewis. And we look forward
Thanks,
to
guys.
seeing what you can do at Road Atlanta.
Oh, yes. Catch you then, guys.
Well, there you have it, folks. Lewis Archer taking the win. And we'll just go here really quick. And we will give you the race results for your race. Lewis Archer coming home with the win. Alexander Shanna coming home second. Ivan Baukamp third. Eli Cannon fourth. And Luis Colon coming home in fifth.
5 drivers finished the race. 13 started. It was a roller coaster of emotions, and yeah, more of that tomorrow. The admins and the organizers must figure out how many drivers are gonna get points, and we'll bring you the full classification next time around in 1 week, where the road Atlanta Grand Prix is gonna be held. Same time. Is it 4 o'clock?
3:45 Eastern we go live, and racing starts at 4:30. So make sure you check us out for that, and then also make sure you tune in again here on the IFL channel for the F3 Long Beach Grand Prix tomorrow. They go live at 3:45 as well. We want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Butt Kicker, LTD Designs, and Majors Garage. Been a pretty awesome ride here in the IFL, and we are only getting bigger. But that is all we've got for you, ladies and gentlemen. Lewis Archer coming out on top of the Long Beach Grand Prix. From everybody here at the IFL, I am Rob Slater, alongside my partners, Stathis Kokorianis. We want to say thank you for coming out and watching, and you all have a wonderful evening.